Jack. Okay, just to give you a perspective, because I just finished the Akashic Records, in terms of saying really that human beings have never actually been in control of their lives at all. There's never been the power of themselves in this world at all. You have been governed by those in high status and stature in this world, the elite, and then you were governed by the dimensional existence where a handful had power and control. So actually basically those that govern this world, which is called the elite, would be the reflection of the current status in the dimensional existence. So therefore, if now this is Anu's kingdom, this is Anu's creation, this is Anu's Anu. Without it he wouldn't be Anu. And that's why if any being fucked with his creation, that would be, what I mean by fucked with his creation, that would be when, as I've said in the previous interview of Akashic Records, that they would try and find any form of solutions or way out or realize something to be done to make a change or a difference in this world. And then in the next life, when they die of the life that they try to do something which would be defined as good, or make a huge massive change, in their next life they will be placed as either a bum or a dog or a fish, something that which they're not able to make any difference within or even speak. So they're placed at the bottom of the food chain, literally. And so they will continue there, because if they compromise this creation of Anu one time, it's done. You don't get any other chances to try and make a difference. So that's why we're saying we're doing this one life, changing the world. Okay, Kryon and the magnetic grid lines. And I'm certain there are many beings in this world who are aware of Kryon. Now Kryon, yes, he did come from a specific planet, though his services to the Anunnaki was quite exponential. The reason for that is because Kryon was of the magnetic service. What do I mean by magnetic service? In other words, in terms of the grid line placements, I'm sure Vina also spoken about it before in one of his structural resonance interviews. In terms of the grid line placements, that's what Kryon placed in. Kryon was responsible for the grid line placement in which human beings are locked into a specific allocation point in this world, at a cross point, and it was all over the world, within the world, in human beings, etc. So you've got a specific allocation cross point. According to that, you walk your life, and that grid line placement, because you're within a grid line placement, right? You're within an entire grid line placement, and within the grid line placement, you'll walk your life, because the grid line placement already holds your pre-programmed, preordained life manifestation that's already here, that integrated and infused within the world the moment you were born, the moment you get out of your mother's womb. And as you walk your life already pre-programmed, so you just kind of walk into and within that which is already placed. It's fascinating. And Kryon was responsible for that placement, and he was responsible for the connection between the unconscious mind and this entire grid line structure. Why the unconscious mind? Firstly, the unconscious mind held mostly at like two layers within it. Okay, the one layer was kind of like was compacted like this, but in your mind. Okay, the one layer held your connection to what was referred to as the entire consciousness unified field, which locked you into this world in the becoming of a consciousness system, guaranteed. Then the other one was in where all your pre-programmed life experiences were placed in, and life experiences were placed in, was locked into your unconscious mind. So that unconscious mind part of you and the consciousness part of you, that unconscious mind part of you that's supposed to lock into this entire consciousness unified field within the world, as all human beings, connects to the gridline structure, and that is through the magnetism of, and that was of Kryon. So everything basically that kept the gridline structure and the information of your pre-programmed life together was the magnetism of Kryon. Kryon was also responsible for the manifestation, creation, the holding, the programming, putting everything together of the mind consciousness systems of the world. So, just to get back, you're probably asking, okay, how is this whole, my pre-programmed, preordained life placed into the gridline structure of this world? Well, see, before you're born, your mind consciousness system, which is your conscious, subconscious, unconscious mind system, is already infused within your physical human body when you're in the mother's womb. So you're birthed with it, as it. And the moment when you're within this world, in the gridline structure, it activates. In other words, the moment that connection of your unconscious mind is made with the gridline structure of the world, that moment, your entire pre-programmed life is spread out into the gridline structure. And then you walk your life. And that's basically it. So, Kryon, usually when he came through the channel, he'd basically check the mind consciousness systems. He'd check the gridline structures of the world. He'd make sure he'd have a look at beings. Because usually what, of course, would happen is sometimes beings' life experience would clash. That usually happens when car crashes occur, when bus accidents, plane accidents, etc. It's basically when too many beings come together at one point and their life experiences are going like a friction. And then what happens, sometimes it is so extensive that it would cause a electronic malfunction, which is usually what happens within airplanes or wherever. So any such clashes, like accidents that occur, is because of that. Too many beings, or even two beings' life coming together, causing friction, and that friction has to be released, and with that release is usually through a great impact. What else? So that's what Kryon did. That's why he channeled. In terms of his channelings, programmed, of course, that was also pre-written for him. Though he focused on the word love extensively. But there is a very fascinating document in terms of Kryon and the word love and the usage thereof. So that's Kryon just checked up on his mind consciousness creations, the grid lines, making sure that the impact of when too many beings come together is maybe released. He's able to do that so it doesn't cause any havoc in the world. Okay, so this is Jack. Thank you very much.